Listen to this. This is from Rasmus Højlund after the game against Brentford. I haven't had much time to learn from him yet, as I've only been back a little over a month, but he has given me a lot of good advice. Talking about Ruud Van Nistelrooy. We need to talk about the impact that Ruud Van Nistelrooy is having at Manchester United and why he could be the saviour for this club this season. Welcome along to Forever United TV, everybody. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining us. We're talking Ruud Van Nistelrooy. We're talking the impact that the former Manchester United great is having on United right now. When you look at the league table, when you look at the stats, when you look at everything else, you could literally come straight back at me and say, Adam, what the hell are you talking about? We're at the bottom half of the table. What impact are you talking about here with Van Nistelrooy? I get it. I do get it. And you have to dig deep and you have to look right into the finer little nuts and crannies of Manchester United's development this season. If you could say development this season or progress this season. I know. It's not much. And I have been a big critique of all of it. But I do pick up on little details. I do pick up on things that are positive that nobody else talks about. And I want to talk about Van Nistelrooy and what he has brought to Manchester United. There, straight away. Look. Rasmus Højlund, Marcus Rashford. Like Rashford last season, he was a lost soul. Complete lost soul. We know he was. Ruud Van Nistelrooy comes in this season. And look, Rashford hasn't been fantastic this season, has he? But he's been better. He's been getting in better positions, making better decisions. And ultimately, he's getting a little bit more praise about his overall performances. He's not being talked about as the Marcus Rashford of last season. I do think that Van Nistelrooy is having an impact on Marcus Rashford. I want to talk about the player impact first of all in this, but you've seen visions, you've seen images of Van Nistelrooy talking to Rashford, you've seen him on the pitch, seen him in warm-ups. I've seen it personally up close myself at Carrington when we've been invited to open training sessions. You can see Rashford's a happy chap. And I think Van Nistelrooy has to take some credit for this as well. Brought in as what we don't know as an assistant coach. Rasmus Højlund calling him an assistant coach there. He's a great assistant coach, he says, Rasmus Højlund. So you can see there, Rashford, Højlund, what's happening. That finish from Rasmus Højlund, I'm sorry, that was a Van Nistelrooy / Wayne Rooney-esque, back in the pomp sort of day type of finish. That cool, calm, collective. You can see the impact that Van Nistelrooy is having. Marcus Rashford, like we've just said, better season. Rasmus Højlund is back. He's already got 2 goals since coming back from his spell on the sidelines again. And we are looking at a different proposition altogether. The biggest thing overall, though, and what I wanted to get across in this video was the impact that Van Nistelrooy is having on Ten Hag. Now, it may go unnoticed. It may look like it's not all completely harmonious between the two. You've seen the obvious sort of impacts, the disagreements on the sideline that have been picked up on by cameras and disagreements and just out-and-out passion. I've seen some people on X and on different social media platforms bringing out comments like, you can't even tell who the manager is, who is in charge of Manchester United, because Van Nistelrooy is the one bouncing around the sidelines, the one who's always up in the officials' faces, the one who's always up, geeing up the players. He seems more excitable than what Ten Hag is. Look, Ten Hag, we know, he isn't that type of manager that's going to be up and down, bouncing around the sidelines, living every single kick of the game. We heard about this from Benny McCarthy when he came out and said, look, he's a different type of character. He's not as emotional. He's not as let's just say he's not as action-packed, is he? He's definitely not like the modern-day manager you see these days, like I just described then, as the one kicking every ball, bouncing up and down the sidelines. Arteta, Tuchel, Pep Guardiola, Xavi Alonso, Xavi himself. Like, there's loads of top managers right now that are just animated beyond. He sends out the message and the players go out and play. I think he's needed this character. I'm not saying that Van der Gaag, McLaren aren't excitable characters, but they have gone now. And we're seeing a different Ten Hag this season. Have you noticed the different character coming out in Ten Hag? Have you noticed the spikiness, the confidence, the cockiness that's come out? I mean, I've complained about it. I think he is too arrogant for where Manchester United are. But you have to look at this right now and go, he is being brought out of his shell a little bit more by what Van Nistelrooy is doing. The fact that Van Nistelrooy bombed it down that sideline at weekend after Matthias de Ligt was brought off for that Brentford corner and they scored from that resulting corner. You've seen the yellow card that he picked up, the passion that he brings. Ten Hag himself in the melee and everything else going on there also gets a yellow card. We're seeing different things happen at Manchester United now, I feel, because of Ruud Van Nistelrooy. Look at the yellow cards. That's 2 yellow cards he's picked up this season already, Van Nistelrooy. And Ten Hag, I feel, is feeding off the energy. I think he's the perfect foil for Ten Hag. You've got that reserved type of character, like the calculated tactician, master tactician. I don't know where that is yet. I've still not seen it, by the way. But that's how people call out and describe Erik Ten Hag as a manager. He isn't like the over-the-top type of character. And then you've got Van Nistelrooy. Pure out and out passion. Up and down them sidelines. He is basically doing that running that other managers do. And feeling every single moment of the game for Ten Hag. He is the one giving that part. He's there to give the players that little bit more. And when you see that on the sideline as a player, you can only get taken aback by it. You can only feel like it's going to boost your confidence, I feel. You've got someone on that sideline there that is willing to run every single yard and kick every single ball with you mentally. He's there. He's backing you up. He's backing the decisions that you make. He's constantly encouraging from the sideline. And when things go wrong, he's there and he has got your back. When you've got that on the sideline, it makes a massive difference. And I just want to gauge the feeling from the United fan base. And I want you to get your comments in below and tell me how much of an impact you do feel like Ruud Van Nistelrooy is having at Manchester United. Because I think it is going under the radar right now. And only because of the emotions that are going on and everything that happened at weekend and how much of an impact that incident had on the game against Brentford. I think everyone's looking into it a little bit more, but I see it at the games that I'm going to. Van Nistelrooy is the one. He's up, he's down. He's constantly communicating. He is shouting, he is bellowing. He has legged it off that bench so many times this season from what I can see. Outraged by what he's watching. When I talk about standards, when I talk about what Van Nistelrooy used to have at Manchester United and what he used to accept as the bare minimum for Manchester United. And when we talked about Van Nistelrooy coming to United, I remember when the first announcement came that he was coming, I made a big video of it and I was talking about what he would bring for Manchester United, what he would bring to the table in helping Ten Hag. And it was a shrewd business decision, I thought, in changing up the staff and the coaching setup at United. I just feel like this is the only way that Ten Hag can survive at Manchester United. He has got the right backroom. He has got the right backroom staff now, I feel. I think he's got the right blend there with Van Nistelrooy. And what he is bringing, I think, is more than anything that Ten Hag has had before. This is a man that we said at the start who understands, as a player, what it takes to be a Manchester United manager, to survive. To survive as a player, not a manager. He knows what it is to be a player. And he understands the pressure of playing in front of this crowd week in, week out. And you've got that at your side and that knowledge. And that if Ten Hag accepts what Van Nistelrooy can bring, and do you know what? I don't think that Ruud Van Nistelrooy has the last say. I think he just lets himself go and lets his emotions take over on games. And Ten Hag can do nothing about it. He just has to stand there. But I feel like he will bring more out of Ten Hag. He will confront him. We've seen it already. We've seen the little debates and arguments that are going on the sidelines. We've seen the interactions. He looks a little bit more animated, and that's saying a lot for Ten Hag because he doesn't really show any emotion at all. But with Van Nistelrooy next to him, I think this is the right blend, and I think we just need to talk about the impact that Van Nistelrooy is having on this side. I think Rasmus looks like a better player. I think Rashford's definitely improved. Zirkzee will hopefully improve as well. And you know what? Even as far as like Garnacho, a lot of players have had a good season then fallen off at United. Garnacho has just gone up and up and up. And I think this season he has gone to a whole new level again. And it's United's best forward right now. And lo and behold, maybe it's because Van Nistelrooy has walked through the door. Maybe it's not. Maybe you think that I'm talking complete and utter garbage. But you're going to tell me in the comments, so please get in there and give me your opinions while liking the video and subscribing to Forever United TV. And I will see you in the next video.